Okay, what I'm doing here is I have the rotovertor spinning by itself, connected to 120 volt, 60 hertz grid, and I have a 4 UF run cap, and then I put a variac parallel to the run cap, and that is the AC power source. And I tried in series to the run cap, but it drew a little more. Right now I'm drawing quite a bit of power, 0.47 from the grid to the rotoverter. But what I'm doing is I'm using the I gotta shut this down. Wow. What happened there? Started speeding up. So let me explain what I'm doing. This is only running on 5.5 volts right now, coming from the variac. So I'm cutting down to like the 162 volts from the run cap phase. I'm cutting it down with the variac. Right now down to only 5 volts, and then I've rectified it and put it into a cap. So I'm making 5 volts DC right now, and I was, at the beginning of this, I was making 17.2 volts, and so I'm driving the DC motor coils on this generator thing right here with the 2 rotors. I'm driving it with 17.2 volts, and my purpose is to get this so it goes faster than the rotoverter is going. Supposedly this rotoverter is going 1725 RPM, that's what it says on the label. And you don't want to go over 7% faster than the rated speed, so I'm thinking about 1800 would be nice. And I couldn't do it on just 12 volts, so I'm using the variac and the run cap phase to cut it, drop the voltage, or up the voltage up to about 17 volts. And at the beginning of this video, that's what I was doing, and I was going almost 1800 RPM at the very beginning of the video, and I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden it sped up to, it was being fed 27 volts. I don't want that because the MOSFETs can only go to about 18 volts. And so I'm glad the MOSFET, the Hall effect, and the driver chip. So I'm glad nothing blew up. But now I'm going to crank this up. Here's the draw right now to the rotoverter motor from the grid. About 200 milliamps. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to crank it up again. Now I'm at 14.9 volts into it. Watch the RPM. Look, it boosted up to 16. So the idea is I want to overspeed the rotoverter. When I get this going fast enough, using the run cap phase, I want to then couple the shafts together and have this motor in here overspeed the rotoverter. So, okay, now I'm up to 17.2, 1724. Oh, let me get this straight. That's what the speed is right now. It says on the label 1725. So I'm going over what the label says the RPM should be. and I'm at 16.7 volts DC driving this. So now I know kind of how many volts, if I was to put a transformer instead of this variac, kick down the run cap phase and power the DC side of this, I'd want about 16.7 volts. And I'm going to crank that up a little bit more. Now we're up to 19. Oh boy. Okay, there's 1850. That's good enough. Now I know, this is going faster than this now. And now if I have the shafts connected, I would be overspeeding this with this. Up to 19. I'm going to cut this back down. I just wanted to know what voltage I need to have in this in order to overspeed this. Now I know between 17 and 19 volts. So this was the first step into what they call DC humping. DC humping. You're going to hump with DC motor the rotovertor, which is running in AC. And when you get overspeed, this turns into an alternator. So, I hope you see what I'm talking about with the shafts connected. And this being driven at about 17 to 18 volts, this will overspeed this, turn this into an alternator. And what do you think this is drawing over here? I don't know. Let's take a look. Okay, so I have the variac kicking down the voltage input to this, to the motor coils here. 13.5 DC from the bridge rectifier in the cap, and we're drawing 240 milliamps and 13 volts into this. So it's not too bad an input of power. And at this speed I'm going that fast. 1,450 RPM. Okay, I'm going to turn this up again, take my chances. Whoa, 19 volts. 19.5. Now the draw has gone up to 360 milliamps, but still not that fast. The MOSFETs are still working. Just one MOSFET. And look, I'm at 1840 climbing. Look at the way the voltage climbs. Okay, I'm going to shut it down. Reduce the voltage to 12. And so at 12 volts, there's only 160, 170 milliamps going into this. From the run cap phase through the variac, step down to the bridge rectifier, into a cap, through the ammeter, into the motor coil. And I guess that's pretty good. I didn't blow anything up, and I now know between 17 and 18 volts, maybe 19 volts, is what I would want a transformer to be between the run cap phase and the DC motor coils of the dual rotor motor generator. So, and then I can connect, now I can connect the shaft and see if I can get this to overspeed the rotovertor. Now the additional torque needed to spin the rotoverter, I don't know if that's going to be a factor because the rotoverter is spinning itself already. So it won't be too much more power than what I'm predicting is going to be 17 or 18 volts input than what's happening now. So anyways, we'll see. And again, this is called DC humping, a rotoverter. Okay, thanks for watching.